इसके अंदर कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं है कि आपको डेली टू डेली रूटीन, आपको अपनी जॉब से रिलेटेड जितने भी एलिमेंट्स हैं, आप इफ यू आर रनिंग सॉक के अंदर इट्स अ होल बिग डोमेन आउट ऑफ इट। टेक्नोलॉजीज किस तरह से काम करती हैं, इश्यूज क्या हैं, ऑफेंसिव साइड पे थ्रेट्स क्या हैं, वल्नरेबिलिटीज क्या हैं, उनकी रेमेडियल मेजर्स क्या हैं, देन जीआरसी इज अ मेन कंपोनेंट ऑफ इट। एक पूरा एक फ्रेमवर्क कैसे काम करता है और किस तरह से वो इंटेल करता है अक्रॉस द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ये आपको पता होना चाहिए। अपार्ट फ्रॉम योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, अदर आपके सराउंडिंग्स में क्या हो रहा है, आपके पीयर फाइनेंशियल या जिस इंडस्ट्री का पार्ट है वहाँ पे क्या ट्रेंड है, वहाँ पे क्या इश्यूज हैं। देन ग्लोबली आपको एक राउंड अप और एक उन चीज़ों का आइडिया होना चाहिए जो कि नेसेसरी आई थिंक फॉर एनी सीसो और फॉर एनी एस्पिरेंट टू come into this field.
Yeah, so technically you cannot know all the areas of technology. I mean, networks could be your forte, you might not know what an API is, or programming could be your forte and you might not know what databases are. But one of the things that you should know as a CISO is how to assess and present and communicate a risk. You should know what your company's business is, how it processes its information, and what could be the risk at various stages of the information the company or the organization processes it. And advise to every aspiring cybersecurity professional that they should learn how to communicate the risk. And that is the only skill I think that which can make you go places.
The first and foremost thing is common sense. So if people do not have common sense, they cannot be in security. But other than that, it all depends on the level that one is starting in cybersecurity or information security. Understanding of the SOC environment, understanding of the risk, understanding of the governance principles and whatnot. And of course the various tools that we use, because we use for the penetration testers we use a lot of tools. Kali, for example, people should understand what Kali is. If they need to write scripts, so they must understand Python. If we are in the risk assessment side, they should be understanding the NIST or the ISO frameworks, because that is the key resource that is available with us.
If I look at today, I would say that a CISO has to have a strong technical background, because technology has evolved so much that back in the days of 2004, when I was in the banking sector and the information security came out new, the focus was mostly on governance and ensuring, and I can understand why it was governance, because everybody was learning how information security would fit into the organization's organogram. And as we talk about today, when you get graduates who are information security certified, masters, bachelors in cybersecurity, information security, you need to have the technical knowledge. Our rate of technology, the rate at which technology is moving forward, things have to be viewed from the technical lens. And with that in mind, a strong technical background, understanding of these guidelines or the frameworks, these are the two crucial areas. But I would say that one has to understand technology.
Basically, CISO must be updated with the technology and must be updated with the cyber threat landscape that is becoming, because honestly speaking, the cyber threat landscape is changing very rapidly. And with the introduction of AI, it is now going to change. In fact, it has started to change very rapidly. So the CISO must be aware of these new threats, be aware of the new technologies and the challenges that are coming, and how to cope up with these challenges.
CISO has a role to play in the critical activities of the organization and to ensure success of the organizational objectives. When in pursuit of the objectives of the organization, the risk is actually commensurate with the reward, and they have to strike the right balance. They have to wear two sorts of caps. One is, of course, a cap where they have to be a policy provider, and at the same time, enforce the policy, ensure that the reasonable amount of risk is being taken in the organization. At the same time, objectives are being met, customers are being serviced, product and services are being designed in an innovative way, and the company is achieving its mission.
Definitely, if you talk about information security, there isn't any particular area that you should focus on. If you talk about, since it's connected to technology, you need to know how the programming are being done. You need to know how the databases are maintained and made. You need to know how the network works. You need to know how the operating system works. You get the most knowledge of all the areas, not in the depth but in the breadth. But as time passes and you get into incidents, you get into investigations of things, you learn them in depth.
So my advice to everyone is that the biggest thing, the most key important thing for you to become a successful CISO, for you to have your rate, you have to say, and people respecting your say, is that you should be knowing about the technology you are giving recommendations on.
One should understand what IT is. One should have analytical skills, a lot, knowledge of computer science in general. One needs to know. Now the networks are becoming extremely complex, and there are lot of services which are now inherently running at the network layer. Having deep understanding how the network really works is also very important, as there are a lot of new exploits coming in at the layer 4, layer 5 network protocols like DNS and on BGP layer and all those things. So network understanding, I think, from a network knowledge is a must for a CISO.
A CISO of today should have knowledge of the technology used in enterprise architecture, the various framework, NIST, ISO 27001, and the hard skills that security operations centers, I believe, is a must for our chief information security officer.